Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Dave. I wanted to give you a quick excerpt from the upcoming podcast in this cold, flu, and virus pandemic season. It's super important, and the rest of it is too, so make sure you tune in. There's an important point to be made. You are talking about sick building syndrome and sick home syndrome, and a lot of people don't understand or haven't gotten to this. We're in the social isolation phase of this pandemic right now, so people are spending a lot more times in their house. This is an absolutely critical time to take care of your home environment. You're going to be in your home. You're going to be isolated. You're going to be sealed up in the home. So the information Miguel is giving you right now is beyond critical in terms of your overall health, not just from the standpoint of respiratory spread of viruses, but your overall health and keeping your house cleaner. Because the odds are, now that we are in the middle of this pandemic, guess what? There's going to be more pandemics.
Modern science has finally tied together the way in which getting leaner and improving longevity and how supplements might make getting to both easier.
With me now with some answers is a real doctor who treats real patients and has developed several all-natural remedies to fight the effects of aging, enhance your memory, and even give a much-needed boost to your energy levels. With us to tell us about these cutting-edge formulas is Dr. Dave himself.
Dr. Dave Wojnarowski.
Dr. Dave Wojnarowski, also known as Dr. Dave.
Thank you.
Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave Unleashed.
The disclaimer, we have to be very, very careful about what we say. You alone, the listener, must assume all liability and responsibility for use, misuse, or disuse of this information, non-use of this information. None of the information here is for anything but entertainment and educational purposes. It is not meant to treat, mitigate, diagnose, or in any way affect any disease. It's Dr. Dave Wojnarowski from www.thelongevityedge.com. And I'm here with yet another amazing podcast. And I got to tell you, I'm super excited about all my guests. I've had phenomenal people. You heard about hydrosols, peptides, and all kinds of amazing things, anti-aging stuff from mine. But today's podcast is unique, as are all of mine. But I hate to use the term very unique because my mother would always tell me unique is an absolute. It's either unique or it isn't. Today's podcast is unique. And I have a unique gentleman on the line with me who's going to enlighten us in ways that, in areas that are really underserved. And you're going to get the true truth, the real truth about using essential oils, and specifically today, because of where we are in the middle of the cold and viral flu season. And I'm not going to mention the C word, the virus that sounds like Spanish for crown, but we're in the middle of that pandemic right now. We're also in the middle of influenza season, I'm allowed to say that. And we're in the middle of rotavirus season, which is common cold. So there's a lot of respiratory viruses out there that are floating around. And we're going to stick to that information today because everybody's asking about it. We have some unique information for you. Speaking of unique, the gentleman I have online, Miguel Cisneros, is as unique a human being as can possibly be made. Miguel has had a very diverse, extensive career in a lot of different things. He's come across many people. He's a brilliant mind, a brilliant formulator. And my history with Miguel goes way back to the turn of this century, the 21st century, when I was selling essential oils on my Dr. Dave's Best website. Now, that business has come and gone, as you know. But the essential oils were an amazing and fun part of what I do. Given where we're at with the viral and cold and flu season, it was really timely that Miguel and I decided to give you this information on how you might use plant-based essential oils in your home and in health to help you in this current season. Again, we're going to be very careful about using words like prevent and treat, etc., because a lot of this stuff is not recognized by the medical authorities, and the medical authorities are unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your viewpoint, getting very aggressive these days on information control. But the information here is easily accessible. You're going to leave this podcast with a lot of good stuff that you can put into practice right away in your home, especially since now we're in social isolation, and your own health. So I want to introduce to you Miguel Cisneros. Thank you, Miguel, for being with us. I call you the Godfather of essential oils. So, Godfather of essential oils is on with us today. Say hello to everybody, Miguel.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having your program. It is definitely an honor being here with you, sharing some information that are definitely that is very important nowadays to be aware of. I'd like to begin by explaining to the audience where I'm coming from. 30 years ago, I began to do research on essential oils and plant medicine. But I went to medical history of the use of essential oils. I found a lot of information how essential oils were used for antibacterial, antiviral properties during all the plagues of the world. Essential oils in medical dictionaries from 1945 and down as antibacterial, antiviral, antiseptic. I found terms like balneal baths, which is medicinal bath with essential oils that was used in the medical practice, aerotherapy, diffusion of oils inside sick rooms, also used in medical practice. So also in all the pharmaceuticals and all the pharmacopoeias of the world, you find essential oil. That's the pharmaceutical. An option for synthetic meds, this is a great choice. I mean, if you need a pill, you need a pill. But with side effects and many things happening, this has been my choice. And I'm 72 years old. And I am enjoying good health, and thanks to Mother Nature. And I'm going to be sharing some things with you of concern at a time like this. Everyone is buying chemicals and using chemicals inside their home. There's 4 areas I pay attention in a person's lifestyle. One of them is, by the way, these areas are connected to many of our illnesses. It's chemicals in the home enclosed air, chemicals in waters and beverage, and chemicals in foods, connected with many of our illnesses. So I'm going to talk about chemicals in an enclosed air. Anyone who went to school in the 50s and 60s, we went to school with open windows. We didn't know any children with cancer. There was no cancer hospitals. We didn't get sick that much. And then we began to enclose the homes, and we began to diffuse chemicals. And one of the things I saw during Hurricane Andrew in Miami is that south of Kendall, everybody lost their roof and everybody lost their furniture. So, of course, everybody got new roof, new furnishing, new carpet, new everything, and began to live in an enclosed environment. In 6 months, there was an increase of sudden infant death syndrome, asthma, multiple chemical sensitivity, many respiratory illnesses. If you go to the EPA, it's called sick building syndrome with the chemicals in the air that you breathe. So I'm going to advise you, as you clean your home, and if you haven't, open all the windows while you're cleaning. At least open all the windows while you're cleaning, and begin to open it every week. So you don't want them to breathe chemically laced air. There's such a thing as oxidated stress, which the body, if it's healthy, can detox those chemicals. But there's also oxidated damage, and oxidated damage is connected from cancer to all the illnesses we did not have in the 50s and 60s before we began to enclose ourselves and use chemicals. So that's just a small advice that you can do right now. Just open your window, gas off your home, and go to, it's a simple thing to do, and go to toxtown.gov. It's an EPA site that gives you some guidance on the chemicals that you need to avoid. And it is advisable to seek the counsel of a PBCAM practitioner, which is a course that I teach, and they have knowledge of the use of essential oils, or any aromatherapy certified individual that practice and has knowledge of essential oils. Always consult a qualified medical practitioner if ill or suffering from an undiagnosed illness. If you need a pill, you need a pill. But you also might want to know what other options are that you don't have to face the side effects that we're facing right now. Let me quickly begin with what we're here for. How to tell the real essential oil. The real essential oils are not oily. They ferment with the aromatic alcohols, and they become better with age. Anybody who has been to my class 30 years ago, 20 years ago, still have the essential oils, are witness to this. So any essential oil out there that has a shelf life of 2 years, Dr. David, is like it's not happening. It's not the real McCoy. And if you call the company and ask them if you can use it for what I'm about to share with you, they will tell you. Essential oils do not evaporate if you leave them open. The real ones. I
Yeah.
work with oils, and the ones that you have to, and the ones you have worked and leave open, they're fine. They're not oxidate.
Miguel, let me just jump in because I do have a story to tell the audience about exactly what you just said. So I've been using your oils since 2002. We have several formulations that we've both come up with and that you've come up with, including one that's going to be very, very useful in this particular season. But I can testify because when I've gone to shows with your essential oils, some of the stuff that you made for me way back in 2002, 2003, I've taken to the shows as an example of a high quality oil, and I've opened them up and they smell amazing. There's no rancidity, and I won't mention names, but I've opened some other oils that are maybe 1 to 2 years old that are commercially available and very famous, and you can smell that the oils have gotten rancid. So the quality of your stuff is absolutely essential. I've never used anybody else as a source other than yours for this reason, that I have 18-year-old oils that smell actually even better because they've slightly fermented than the day that we made them. So I can't stress enough the quality is a huge issue. Things do cost more when you use quality. Everybody's concerned about price. One of the reasons why I stopped selling the essential oils way back when was we're selling them in 1 gram bottles. And people were saying, "Oh, you're charging so much for these oils. Why would I do that when I can buy so and so's oil for $5?" Now you know the answer. The shelf life is absolutely forever, and the potency of these oils, the things that Miguel is going to tell you about that they're capable of doing, are present in these oils. And like so many other oils, I wouldn't bank on it. I just simply wouldn't. I also want you, Miguel, to give people your website, if you will, because you have a wealth of information on these topics there as well. That we're not going to have time to cover everything today. So you are about to get into the some more qualities of the oils. Can you give everybody your website so they can contact you? And also, one final thing I want to mention about websites. Miguel and I have had this formulation for sinus and flu for a long, long time, for cold and flu, an essential oil, and I am considering making it again because of this viral season that we're in the middle of. So if you are interested in that, in getting that, we have limited quantities, obviously, and the oils are somewhat rare, but we have an inventory, and I'm going to be making some more if there's interest. So if there's interest in using these essential oils during the season for some of the things that Miguel's about to tell you about, including in your home and in your personal health, contact our customer service person, Bailey Martinez, and that is www.the thelongevityedge.com. Go to the site, you'll see the customer service number there. Bailey Martinez is expecting your call if you're interested. I'm only going to do this if I get enough interest, because obviously there's plenty of people telling you to do all kinds of things. And these oils require a lot of man hours to make. So we have some inventory. Before we go, whole hog on this, I need to know that there's interest. So contact Bailey Martinez at The Longevity Edge, and we'll go ahead and make enough to serve everybody. And Miguel, your website, and then I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please get right back into what you were talking about.
No, thank you for the information. The website is plant-based with a D, plantbasedcam.com. That's plantbasedcam.com. CAM is complementary alternative medicine, which is preventive. What we're trying to do is to have a different lifestyle and don't be exposed to many risks. Now that you're able to tell the real essential oil, and by the way, whatever you have and you enjoy, go for it. I mean, I respect everybody's opinion. One of the main essential oils that we use is, and before I begin with this, the essential oils that I get is from families that have been doing distillation for hundreds of years. These essential oils are part of the fragrance industry. They have been sharing and during all kinds of world wars. So countries have continuously share the spice and fragrance industry. And so these are families that have been distilling this for many years. They come from all over the world. So the first one, most popular, is lavender. We all heard lavender. Lavender can be used as an antiseptic, in rapid healing. It's one of the best oils to use for burns, used for open sores, bites, inflammation, and but the main thing about lavender is that at a strength of 4.5%, the essence of lavender kills the Aedes bacillus, which is typhoid, and a staphylococcus. At a strength of 5%, it will destroy the lophus bacillus, with hysteria. And remember, this has been used before. It worked before, it works now. The essence kills the tuberculosis bacillus, strength of 0.1. Lavender vapor destroys Staphylococcus and Pneumococcus bacteria in 12 to 24 hours. It is known as a decongestant. So for that purpose, we use lavender in many of our combinations for sinus and cold, inhalers, house diffusion. We also use tea tree, which is an excellent germicidal and antifungal properties, which offer a wide range of uses for cold, flus, also herpes, afflicts food, warts, infections. Another one that is a main one to use, especially if you have mildew and mold, and we have seen this with a doctor that worked a while back, Dr. Marcel Vega, and we developed a fogging system. Where we went to homes that have mildew and mold, and so that after we fogged that place, the mold just became dust in the wall. So we use it also for respiratory problem. Thymus distilled mainly in Spain and Israel. It is warm and stimulant, and is a reliever of the respiratory system. It's a strong antimicrobial and serves the immune system response. Thymol, thyme most active ingredient, is well known for its antibacterial and antifungal property. The oils from the leaves of this plant, when inhaled, helps to loosen phlegm and relax the muscles of the respiratory. Explained by Norman Farnsworth, PhD director of the program collaborated research in the pharmaceutical science of the University of Illinois, Chicago. It is antispasmodic, diuretic, antiseptic, expectorant, preventive of contagious and pulmonary disease when to diffuse, and we use a blend to diffuse in home and workplace for airborne bacteria. This is one of the oils we use. We mentioned anti-mold and mildew. The vapors effectively neutralize the Aedes bacillus, Listeria, Staphylococcus, and tuberculosis. Another great one to use, and we use this in mixes, in synergies. We follow the law of synergy, which means when you blend one essential oil with another one, or you multiply the benefits by 100, and so on. And so on and so on as you continue to add. So eucalyptus, which we all know is antiseptic, is particularly used for steam inhalations to relieve cold symptoms, sinus congestion, mucus, cough. We all know about eucalyptus. So it's very powerful. One of the main things about eucalyptus, it has two ingredients, and when they come in contact with oxygen in the air, it produces ozone, where no bacteria is able to live. It's also expectorant, preventive contagious and pulmonary disease. Used in a 2% spray solution, kills 70% of the airborne Staphylococcus bacteria. The essential oil of eucalyptus has much greater effect than eucalyptol, its main active principal constituent, which is extracted and used in pharmaceuticals. Its effectiveness primarily due to the action of two natural chemicals, aromodendrin and phenodendrin. These are the ones, when they come in contact with the oxygen in the air, chemical reaction produces. Now, one of the really neat essential oils that I have seen work over and over again is cajeput. Now, cajeput is the go-to oil to stop a cough. And I have not seen it not work. I have to share at this moment that my whole approach to essential oils and medicinal herb has been to prove them wrong. I needed to see when they, yeah. I only believe what I see. So my whole approach is to prove them wrong. And I remember a time when I visited the Oneida tribe in Green Bay, Wisconsin. There was a gentleman there that had a heart operation, and he was coughing. The doctors could not give him any medication for that because it will bring the blood pressure up. So there was nothing to help him out. Every time he coughed, it hurt. And the minute that he inhaled cajeput, he stopped coughing. There was another instance where I was. Go ahead.
You saw a real life application of this right away in somebody who could ill afford to cough. Not coughing is not necessarily always a bad thing, but understanding this virus and cold season, coughing is one of the major ways that we're spreading these viruses. So this is something to take heed of, what Miguel is telling you. And I know, Miguel, you're going to give us a little bit of when you're done describing each of the oils, you're going to give us a little recipe that we can make for home antiseptic cleaning. And of course, you and I have the cold and flu formula. So go ahead. You were talking about cajeput.
Yes. The other time we were filming, they were interviewing me at a Spanish show called Primer Impacto in Miami, and the apothecary that I had in Miami, there's on live filming, there's a person bringing another person that is coughing. So I told the cameras to continue to roll, and the person tells me that her friend has been coughing for 24 hours, and she told him to bring it to the apothecary before they went to the hospital. They have done that many times, and I wonder why. But anyway, here they are. And so one of the great things about essential oils is I always wanted to know when is it going to work? Because to me, to hear that something is great for this, if you don't give me the time frame of when it's going to work, it's just information somebody read somewhere and throw it out. So it's very important for me to know when, so I can tell this person the minute that I applied this essential oils on your hands and you just inhale it, you will stop coughing before I do it. And of course she did, and she started crying, and the camera kept filming. So it's important for you to find out the time frame of anything that you get involved in natural medicine. You want to know when it's going to work. Not just this is great. The next one is garlic. There's three of them. A strong antiviral, antiseptic materials in the natural world that nobody can deny. One of them is garlic, the other one onion, the other one is oregano. So garlic is one that I have taken for the past 40 years. And it has many benefits, and we don't want to have the time to go into this, but it's definitely antiviral, antiseptic. Laboratory test shows that 3 cloves of garlic is equivalent to 100,000 units of penicillin. So I take myself 1,000 milligrams to 1,500 milligrams of garlic, which is equivalent to 100,000 units of penicillin antibiotically. I take 4 of those per day.
You're taking capsules, is that correct?
Yeah. I'm taking the gel. Yeah, definitely not the odorless. They take away the antibacterial antiviral, and exactly. You can find that in many places. But I just wanted to share that with you. I take that as my blood thinning also. By the way, don't take garlic if you're on blood thinning because it's an excellent blood thinner.
Right.
But so garlic is one of my tools that to keep me healthy, and that's a regular thing. What I'm mentioning right now is what I practice daily, and what I tell others to practice daily, so you don't get sick. Not only at a time of rush and panic, so to speak, but every time. So when times like this come, you're fine. Your immune system is good. The next one is fir needle or any pine needles. They're definitely used for respiratory. They're antimicrobial. They're antiviral. So we use it at this time in different blends for the house and different blends for inhalers and in a antibacterial gel. We use it in aerotherapy, and we also use it in balneotherapy.
Miguel, could you do
a few drops in a bath?
Could you tell the audience a little bit about that, about aerosolizing and bath? I know you have more oils to cover, but could you just give us a brief overview of how you would add this to your bath, or how you would aerosolize it?
Yes. Thank you. Yes. The best diffuser you have is the air conditioner. That's your best diffusing machine. I mean, you can buy a nice little diffuser, and that's great. It goes great with cheese and wine. But if you really want to saturate your home, it's definitely your air conditioner, your AC. And this is the way you do it. By the way, this is very economical, as you will say, if you use the real essential oils. You use like 30 to 40 drops in a heavy-duty spray water bottle that you get the garden supply. That's the heavy-duty ones. And fill it with water. You shake it. And normally you want to do this after you have air out your house. And the way to air your house is open all windows, run your air condition for 10 minutes with the windows open. And then after half an hour, you close your windows, and then you spray the solution that you have 30-40 drops of the different mixture of essential oil that we call SIG building, SBS, in a spray water bottle, fill it with water, shake it, and spray your air-conditioned vents in each room. Then put it on a sprayer and spray your air-conditioned intake air, your filter, and then turn your air condition. In seconds, it goes all over the house. Yeah. So this now all over the house, you have antibacterial. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it happens in northern climates too. Right now, obviously, we're in the middle of the season. Viruses replicate in colder weather, not warmer weather. So here we are in Pennsylvania and New York and Ohio and other places like this. You can do this in your heater as well. Just spray it on the flip side of your filter so that it doesn't get completely filtered out. But you can do it on either side of the filter because it's aerosolized. It'll pass through your heater filter, and you can use it on your heater vents. For those of you who are in the northern climates and are not going to turn on your air conditioner, open the windows the way Miguel said. It'll fire up your heater, and yes, it may be a little inefficient energy-wise, but you're only going to do this for a few moments. And then you can spray it in your vents, and you can also spray it in the intake and output, both sides of the filter of your heater. So just an aside for the folks who are not living down in Florida like you are, Miguel.
Okay. Yes. By the way, also, the smell that you smell when you turn your heater on in the winter, the initial smell that you smell, you want to open the windows when that happens, because that's an oxidizer that you're inhaling. By the way, just to mention, when I'm looking at somebody's environment, I'm going to look at a house pet. That's the canary in the mine. So if your dog has a tumor, if your dog has any problem, you're next. I mean, that's what I've seen. And usually 7 years in an enclosed environment, the dog has a tumor, something we did not see in the 50s or 60s. So we got to be very aware of indoor air that we're breathing and concentrating. Okay. So we got the aerotherapy. We know how to diffuse it. And you have great blends for that. I mean, I remember. You have, that has a thyme and fir needle and so forth that can be put in practice right now to take care of indoor environments. Not only that, you make a bath with warm water, with whatever warm water you like, and then you apply before you get in 10 to 20 drops of essential oils in combination or by themselves. So if you're going for a sinus essential oil, sinus and cold, you will use lavender, antibacterial, antiviral, lavender, eucalyptus, some pine, and then enclose yourself in the bathroom and be there inhaling that and penetrating into your skin for 15 to 20 minutes. It's going to be completely different when you get up. Completely, you will feel it. You will feel it. You will feel it within 5 minutes.
Miguel, jump in again here because there's an important point to be made. You are talking about sick building syndrome and sick home syndrome, and a lot of people don't understand or haven't gotten to this. We're in the social isolation phase of this pandemic right now, so people are spending a lot more times in their house. This is an absolutely critical time to take care of your home environment. You're going to be in your home. You're going to be isolated. You're going to be sealed up in the home. So the information Miguel is giving you right now is beyond critical in terms of your overall health, not just from the standpoint of respiratory spread of viruses, but your overall health and keeping your house cleaner. Because the odds are, now that we are in the middle of this pandemic, guess what? There's going to be more pandemics. We have better ways of diagnosing viruses, and how many ever since the HIV virus came out. Well, it's probably been here since the 60s, but since we actually isolated it and started having cases in the 80s, there's been an explosion in our ability to understand the immunology of viruses. And so all of a sudden people are wondering, oh my God, now we have SARS and we have Ebola, we have Zika. Where did all this stuff come from? It's a Holocaust. It's the zombie apocalypse. It's probably been there forever, folks. You just didn't diagnose it and we didn't have the immunology. But my point is about what Miguel is telling you is this is valuable beyond gold, this information you're being given in terms of social isolation and taking care of your house. It's going to work now in this pandemic. It's going to work in the next pandemic. And, whatever viral scares and craziness comes down the road, there's going to be more of them, I guarantee you, especially given the media ratings that came out of this. There'll be much more of this terror and fear. You should understand that what Miguel is giving you is not just for the next couple of weeks. It's for good. It's for everything that you do. It's a small change you can make in your lifestyle and a huge change you can make in your health. Sorry for the interruption, Miguel. I know you were on a flow there, but I really want to make sure people understand what you're giving them. You're giving them gold here. This is solid gold.
Thank you. Well, you're touching good points there, and it's the whole thing that health is easy. What we got to ask is, what are you doing to kill yourself, and change it.
There you go.
I mean, it's really health is really easy. I mean, there's no doubt. So we have to find out what we're doing. Yeah, 2 years ago, the National Institute of Health stated that 97% of our illnesses are lifestyle, and only 3% is genetic. We used to think in reverse. We used to think 97 genetic and 3 lifestyle. No, it's 97% of our illness is lifestyle. So we do got to pay attention to what we're doing and stop feeding an illness. But that's that's multiple podcasts on that. So
sure, and, obviously
we can cover the.
We'll be doing a lot more of these, but there's one other point I want to make on this, Miguel. You're helping people with their homes. Sooner or later, they're going to let us out of our houses and we're going to be going into sick buildings. Could you explain how people might put some of the essential oils near their nose and inhale and protect themselves in sick building? Obviously, you want to make sure your hands are clean when you do this. The oils themselves have an antiseptic property, an antiviral property that Miguel was telling you about. So if you have them on your hands, you've already instituted some bacterial and antiviral cleansing, so you can get them near your respiratory tract if you are going into a building or a public area. Could you advance that a little bit? Because now there's going to be people who are being a lot more aware of, hey, I'm going to a concert, I'm going to a public area, I'm going to a restaurant, I'm going on the tram, I'm going into public health areas, I'm going into public transportation areas, I'm going in an airplane. How can people use these essential oils that hopefully I'll be able to provide for them if we have enough interest? Again, folks, if you're interested,
Well,
thelongevityedge.com. Make sure you leave a message with Bailey Martinez that you're interested in getting the specific oil that Miguel and I are making for this, so that we can get an idea of how much to take out of our inventory, because we are stockpiling it for ourselves, folks. We are. Go ahead, Miguel. How do we deal with going out in public?
Well, one of the good products to keep on your purse or in your car is the inhaler that you can bring out and inhale very deeply. And where you're inhaling is a combination of antibacterial, antiviral essential oils, and that you will feel right away easier to breathe. So you can protect yourself from indoor environments like that. So the inhalers are one of the good ones to have. Besides that, if you practice what we've been mentioning about having a healthy home, that does a lot for you. But you have the inhaler. You have essential oils that can be used in a bath, as we mentioned, diffuse in the home air, and then for traveling. There's you have a travel kit that you use while you're traveling a plane and you're going places. You have a travel kit because you're going into an air that is recirculated, which is a plane. I have used for many years. I mean, once I found out that the hepatitis virus lasts outside the body for 30 days, I make sure that when I travel, I took a light cotton blanket and put it on the seat because I didn't want my neck to be touching a fabric that everybody sweats and nobody cleaning those. So, there's preventive things you can do that are very easy.
When you say inhale, Miguel, just let's clarify. You're talking about spray bottles and filling them with small spray bottles and filling them with essential oil blends that you and I make, or that they can make at home, and inhaling them. Is that correct?
Well, that's one, but for the traveling and taking it, it's actually a bottle with a white mouth and rock salts. And then, the combination of the oils for antibacterial, antivirals,
right?
And that's the bottle that you will inhale. So it has a white hole on the top, white opening, and the rock salt holds on to the essential oil. They last forever. You're only inhaling it. So
the folks are going to last for how to make those. Can you explain to them how to make those, and we supply the essential oils and then.
Yes, sure. And what it is rock salt, and you take a white mouth bottle that you can hold in your hand and fill up with rock salt, and then put in the mixture for sinus or colon respiratory synergy that you have, and you put like 40 drops of that, and the eighth of an ounce bottle has 129 drops. So what I did not mention when so you have a lot of drops there to make a lot of inhalers. Also, that's the ones that you can use also. Well, when you use a synergy for the home, which is also an eighth of an ounce, it's 129 drops. But when you put 30 drops in that plastic bottle that I mentioned that you use in the air condition, when you're down on that bottle halfway, you can fill up with water 4 or 5 times without putting any more oils. So it lasts you for many, many applications. Did I confuse anybody there jumping around?
Yeah, that is in my travel kit, the one that you gave me with the rock salt and our blend. So those are easy to make. For simplicity's sake, we're going to let you make them. We're not going to supply them. It's very simple. You just get a bottle, fill it with rock salt, and then take our blend and put the 40 drops or thereabouts in, and you will have an easily accessible, repetitively accessible travel kit, which obviously you can use at home as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to put in, you're going to insert directions on how to do a few things, or
Sure.
have a website that will explain how to do
Yeah.
it.
We'll make
So
sure that,
it's easier to do.
absolutely.
Yes. So one of the things that I want to mention is whatever you get up in the morning is usually the air that you breathe. So if you get up with a headache, if you get up coughing, if you get up sneezing, if you get up stuffy nose, it's the air that you breathe. And if you double check when you went on vacation, you didn't have the same. You know how many people that were that thought I had allergies on allergy medication that didn't have it once they opened windows, or they thought they had asthma and didn't have them, and they thought they had headaches for 7 years, and they didn't have it. It was the air that they were exposed to. So open windows. Okay. Do we have time to go over a few more rules?
Well, let's go. Let's quick review. We're at 40 minutes now. We want to keep this under an hour, obviously. But
oh my goodness,
you've mentioned so far cajeput, lavender, thymol or thyme, eucalyptus.
Yeah.
You've mentioned garlic and onion and fir needles. I guess cypress is in that category as well. So, what other oils would have good usage during this particular season?
Lemon has always been a good one. Lemon has antiviral, and a lemon, an organic lemon, squeezed in a glass of water is a good thing to drink. Lemon has antiviral, antibiotic properties, along with relaxing qualities, which we know. But we use lemon for his antiviral properties in some of the inhalers. It also has vitamin B1, B2, B3, vitamin A, C, PP factor. Vaporized essence neutralizes the Meningococcus bacteria in 15 minutes. Essential lemon neutralizes the Everest bacteria in 5 minutes, and Staphylococcus in 5. So it's a very strong aerial essential oil to use. Let's see. We mentioned we mentioned cypress, correct?
Well, we said fir needles.
Cypress? No.
You said fir needles and pine needles. So let's talk about cypress specifically because it has its own set of properties.
Yes, cypress is it's a bronchodilator.
Opens the lungs.
So it's definitely effective. It also lungs. So we definitely use it in the inhalers and recommend for those who need to open the upper respiratory package, and that you feel right away. The results of this that I mentioned is within seconds of inhaling. You will feel it. So that's the benefits of all this. This is my go-to always, always. Like I say, I'm 72. Nobody have seen me sick.
That's
I have
true.
no idea what it is to take any prescription.
Over all the years I've known you, I've never seen you sick. I've never seen you on prescription medications. I've seen you smoke an occasional cigar, but I've never seen you sick. So I think testimonial,
Yeah, no, definitely occasional cigars. But it's handmade good leaf without chemicals. So the moral of the story is that there's a lot of life to live there. And if you just pay attention a little bit, you can have a very healthy life, and everything is reversible. I mean, you can reverse many things. So find out how to do it. I mean, find out a little more about what options. And plant does give tremendous amount of options. They were the medicine of yesteryear, and they work then, they work now. I mean, it is the material that the father of medicine used. And with that, we can say it a lot. We said a lot on that one. But and let thy food be your medicine. Exactly what the best.
Yeah, and let your scent.
What's that?
Let your scent be your medicine too. I mean, the olfactory scent, as we've mentioned in other podcasts, is the most primordial scent. And it goes right to the brain. And I know you and I have other formulations we've worked on for many, many years. And I've had since meeting you back in the early 2000, changing mood as well. But we're focusing now on a very specific niche. And the information that you've given folks Miguel, has been absolutely amazing. I would like to ask you one more specific question, and then we'll wrap it up. And just so everybody knows, we've covered the following essential oils that can be used in inhalational therapy, and some of these can be put in cleaning solution. That's what I'm going to get to. But cajeput, lavender, thyme, eucalyptus, and cypress, and then of course oral garlic and onion. So Miguel, can you give us a recipe for your favorite cleaning solution? Because I'm not going to be providing all this on my website. The only thing that I'm doing, if there's enough interest, again, folks, you gotta let me know there's enough interest on this. I'm not going to tip my personal stock unless people really want it and need it. And we've given you plenty of other things to do. This is yet another amazing thing to do to take care of your indoor environment, also to help buffer you when you go outside into the world in public, when we're allowed to become unsocially isolated and not isolated anymore. When all this passes, as it certainly will, more easily for you if you stay healthy. But Miguel, could you give us a one of your cleaning solutions? Because the volatile organic solvents that are in, and some of the triclosan and things like this that are in gels and cleaning solutions, and these are not healthy either. And this is why you say open your windows. What about an all natural essential oil based cleaning solution? Can you give us one of those?
Well, yes, that's definitely the best. The best option is to learn how to do away with chemicals. So I'm going to cover a few. For sick times, you can put a cap of eucalyptus oil in a bucket of water and mop your tile. Remember the two chemicals that produce ozone? Well, that's what you're doing in your home when you're mopping with eucalyptus. So that's a good one. Do your bathroom, put it in a spray bottle. And that's what you clean your counters. You can use lavender and eucalyptus for that. You can do your own antibacterial gel, like just getting aloe vera gel in bulk. You can find it anywhere, aloe vera gel, and then use a few drops of lavender, eucalyptus, tea tree, and cajeput. If you go any of those essential oils that are non-antibacterial and antiviral, you have your own hand gel for you and your family. Now, that's another worry. The synthetic chemical-based hand gel that everybody's using now has triclosan. Google that one. You're going to find out that it's cancer-causing chemical. That's one of them.
Yes,
and absorbing into our skin.
Yeah, and they used to put that in cosmetics. Now that's actually banned from cosmetic use, but you can still use it in cleansers and sanitizers. So that's a good point, Miguel. That it's like DDT. It's banned in the U.S., but you buy fruit and vegetables from other countries where they use it like crazy. So it's not a bad time, folks, to take. This is not a big deal. I mean, he's just giving you your own sanitizing gel, your own cleaning system that you can make. A few drops in your water, a capful of eucalyptus and lavender in a bucket of warm water, and you've got yourself an amazing cleanser for your house that doesn't contain anything but what Mother Nature put there. And if ever there was a time to start paying more attention to these ancient therapies and ancient remedies, you can see how panicked people are in this viral season because we don't have answers. But our ancestors had a lot of answers to deal with these kinds of things. And at the very least, you're going to have a clean house that smells amazing and isn't full of chemicals. So, Miguel, thank you so very much for that.
One more thing I like to add. I like to share what I do in times like this. What I do in times like this is I apply lavender first from my throat to my chest. Then I apply eucalyptus. Now I'm diffusing essential oils around me that wherever I go is I'm breathing. So the essential oils that we work with, you can apply directly in your skin, the real ones. The other ones you have to, find out what the supplier says. But if you begin with utilizing the antibacterial, antiviral properties and surround yourself with it, the chances of sickness is very, or at least that's what I have seen, and I have seen others that are using the system that are experiencing the same health benefits.
Right. So a couple of caveats for everyone out there. First of all, always test to make sure you're not allergic to the oils. What Miguel says is true. A lot of the reason why people are develop any kind of reactions to essential oils is because they're using adulterated or impure oils. But nonetheless, we recommend that you test a small amount of all these oils on the back of your wrist and make sure that you don't have an allergy before you spread them. Eucalyptus in particular can be very hot, so you definitely don't want to use large volumes of that because it can cause some discomfort. Make sure you at least understand that before you spread it all over the place. And again, we're not making any medical or curative or diagnostic claims here. This information is for your purposes only, and you must assume the responsibility for its use, misuse, or non-use. Miguel and I are here for your education and for your entertainment, and we can supply the essential oil for this particular viral season from my website. But again, use these with an understanding of what they are. They are not prescription drugs. Any alphabet agency would only allow ACAM for, I believe, preventative is the way it stands now. So we're not making any medical claims. It's important for you to understand that. And just test these oils before you use them. Even our oil could potentially cause a minor problem. So test it on the back of your wrist. Make sure there's no issues with it, and then use it freely. You can certainly use it as an antiseptic in your cleansers and in your diffuser or in your heating system or air conditioning system, because by that is going to be quite diluted and not going to be coming into direct contact. But as far as putting it on your skin, just test it first. So, Miguel, we've covered a lot. Is there anything else you want to say to our audience?
Yes. I mean, just one more thing. Do not use eucalyptus on children. For that, we have Niaoli, which has the same property of eucalyptus, but it's a Niaoli. It's a nicer, milder form of eucalyptus. Niaoli. Okay. And thank you so much for inviting me in your podcast. I definitely enjoy sharing information, and I'm here. I'm here for any question anybody have, and I know that you are readily available too. And I thank you for your service. You always have been open to serving the community, and that's definitely very nice things to see and to hear. And I appreciate your invitation to your podcast. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, Miguel. And I'm going to ask you to give everybody your website one more time. So can you do that for us? And then I'll close it up.
All right. Thank you. It's www.plantbased with a D, cam.com. That's plantbasedcam.com.
Thank you, Miguel. So everyone, Miguel and I, as I mentioned, we've been doing this I've been doing this since the beginning of this century. Miguel has been doing it even longer. We do have a cold and sinus formula out there that I think would be extremely useful during this particular season. That is the one that I'm willing to supply. I am not prepared to go back and let people use my perfumes yet, or my colognes yet, or any of the other stuff that I do personally. But in this particular season, it's absolutely essential that we have an essential oil, and essential oils are essential. So if you are interested, contact Bailey Martinez. Go to www.thelongevityedge.com and get the customer service number there. If we have enough interest, I'll make it available. We have a stock. We can get this out probably within 7 to 10 days of you hearing this podcast. Right, the date today is April 20th. March 20th, excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's March 20th. We can certainly have this starting to ship by the end of the month. And there's no question that this current viral season, including the pandemic, will continue for another 4 to 6 weeks until the warmer weather comes. So, Miguel, thank you. I know you have a ton more information to share. And I think we're going to have you back for sure with some other issues as they develop. But this was very timely, and essential oils are essential. So thank you again, Miguel. I look forward to our next conversation. And everybody out there, I'm going to sign off now. Dr. Dave from www.thelongevityedge, signing off from this podcast. Be ready for more amazing information because it's coming.